to the communities that you're, scaling, your business through. We are there to provide them the jobs. We are there to talk to them. We are there to be part of the process for them. We need to make sure they feel that no matter whether we're $100,000 company, $2 million company, or $100 million, company. And I think that's what gets lost too many times in businesses who grow too fast.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Growth and Scaling Podcast. Today, for any of you parents out there, this is the episode for you. Norbert, tell us who you are and what do you do?
Thank you, Todd. Thank you for having us on the podcast. My name is Norbert Sygdziak. I'm the co-founder and CEO of RideAlong. We are a managed services student transportation company, really trying to resolve the transportation issues for students in a much safer way of carpooling. RideAlong started in 2019. The company really was founded out of a personal need. My fiance and I have two kids. Back then, our 4-year-old, our youngest, was lost on a yellow school bus. It was an unfortunate incident. Yeah, it was an unfortunate incident where we just could not find him for over 4 hours. And what became really scary for us as parents,
oh my gosh,
was the fact that that the school, they had no idea which bus he was on too. And what really opened our eyes more is the fact that
that's insane.
Yeah, the fact that as we go to work and we place our kids on the yellow bus, there's this assumption of they're safe to go to school. But the reality is that schools are under budgeted, underfunded, understaffed, and they really have no visibility where the kids are as they're going to school. So we decided to do something about it.
That's scary.
Yeah, it was a very scary thing, and we decided to kind of make a change for our own kids and launched the company. Initially, what meant to be for our own, community. We talked to a lot of families and realized everybody had similar issues, and with the system. And we launched initially. It was a small carpool of 6-7 students in Jersey City, New Jersey. And within the first few days, the word just started spreading, and our company and our system just started to grow from there.
That is so incredible. So you're telling me that your younger of your two kids ends up getting lost on a school bus. I can't imagine what the older sibling was thinking. Like that had to be traumatic for the whole family.
It was very traumatic for the whole family. I think what makes it worse is that as both of us working parents in New York City, we rushed back home because our childcare tells us that, that our son isn't there, and we're getting no answers from school. And,
oh my gosh,
that 4-hour period was probably one of the longest 4 hours that I've ever had in my life. And thankfully the bus driver noticed an extra student on the bus and brought him back to school. Nevertheless, my child comes out of the bus and he's scared. He's crying and he doesn't want to get on the bus, the next day. So we had to find a, solution.
Ever again.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And especially at that age, it's like, I mean, they're just getting used to going to school. Yep. Everything is so new and separation anxiety is already there. That is a horrible experience.
That is.
So,
yep.
So, I mean, obviously you probably thought like, okay, Uber works and some of these other ride shares work, but not really catered for kids. What was going through your mind when you thought, how do I solve this problem?
Well, that's exactly right. Uber, Lyft, and some of the rideshare companies out there are great, and they've changed the way transportation works in this country and the access that we have throughout the world. But it doesn't work for kids. You're not allowed to put your child in there, and you don't know who's picking up your child every single day. So really, the option that was out there for families is, do I hire my own private driver? But the reality is that majority of families in this country can't afford that extra cost, right? So we started to dig deeper and say, well, what's the next step? Well, what if we hired a private driver but shared the carpool with 4 or 5 other kids in the car, that go to the same school? And next thing you know, we realized it's actually a model that works, and we started to grow it from there.
And I gotta think that a lot of your recruiting of drivers are likely other parents, right?
Well, 100%. So our entire model operates on, you get the same driver picking up your kids Monday through Friday. So it gives a comfort level to your families and kids to know who is there. It's the same carpool of kids going to school and from school Monday through Friday. The same driver. Our drivers are fully vetted, background check, drug screened. and we do it multiple times each year. In addition to that, we provide the technology that allows the parents to live GPS their kids while they're in the vehicle. So you can have an app that you can track them
Awesome.
on the way to and from school. We took our own challenges when we couldn't find our son for 4
Awesome.
hours, and apply them to the business to say, what would a parent want to see, and how would this system help schools in general.
Yeah. That's so cool. And so this happened when? 2018, 2019, somewhere in there?
20 so this happened in the May. My son got lost in May of 2019. We launched the business September of 2019. So
Love it. Oh my gosh. Dude, congratulations. I mean, honestly, it's a great story. Sad story. But what a relief you're giving parents,
yeah.
because I mean, I rode the yellow school bus to school, and and to at least through elementary school. And so I know what that feeling is like as a kid. I've only got 7 kids, and they rode the school bus for a lot of years. But I mean, this is something very, very different and something very comfortable. I gotta believe a parent adoption of this is pretty easy to get, right? I mean, this is a pretty easy sale, I would guess.
Absolutely. The sale for us is the easy part.
Yeah.
Our revenue really comes from multi sources. So, the parent is the one, revenue stream. The other,
Right.
solution that we provided to schools, across the country, is that we actually partner with schools who used to use
That's
yellow
awesome.
busing systems, just realize that, maybe putting 30 kids into a bus is not the right way anymore. Maybe because someone in that
Right.
bus has to be there for an hour and a half to 2 hours, and that's a very long
Yeah,
trip. Um,
it is.
so we're able to come in with our, with the model, and we're able to change the system for schools. We work with public school districts,
Right.
private schools throughout the country. We also work with major league sports teams. We've partnered with Major League Soccer and
Wow.
USL Soccer, and we help provide youth transportation to those teams who are training young, players to become pros. A lot of these players are from different countries, from different states. They don't
Right.
have their parents with them. They are placed into a, home where they live. So we
Wow.
provide the stability of having that transportation to and from training Monday through Friday.
Norbert, I love this business. Again, it's called RideAlong. For those listening, it's ridealongnow.com. And this is a very, very awesome model. I honestly am so excited to hear about this. Tell us about the growth now. Now that we know what your business does and who you're
Yeah.
serving, what's happened in the last 3 years? And what's happening this year? I guess I should
Yeah.
ask.
So absolutely, absolutely. So our growth, our demand for our model, for our service, is continue to flow in nonstop.
Love it.
We went from being the company that operated in our own, community, to start operating in new states pretty much 90 days after we launched the company. We to this day have not really spent any money on
Wow.
advertising or marketing. It's just been all word of mouth. We currently
Yeah.
have over 11,000 clients on our wait list all over the country who are waiting for us to start service with them.
Shut up.
So the sale for us the sale for us is the very easy part. The harder part about scaling your business in general is understanding how you grow and how you
Yeah.
scale, but also staying in touch with the community that you are part of. We tend to look at ourselves as helping much more than just the students. We
Right.
hire our drivers, locally from the communities where we drive the students.
Right.
Our drivers are W-2, employees with us.
Awesome.
They are part-time, but they can earn, yeah, but they can earn a salary of anywhere from $25 to $40 per hour, depending, how many
Nice.
students they can drive each day.
Nice.
So being able to provide those type of jobs, to the communities where we, where we do business, is also helps to grow that side of, the community. And we have stay-home moms and dads who've been out of the workforce for a very long
Right.
time, who are looking to make an extra $400 or $500 each week.
Darn straight.
We've been able to provide them with exactly, and they've been driving kids, in carpools for generations anyway.
Right.
So it's nothing that they had, that they're not used to. they just have a chance to earn extra, money right now.
I want to thank you so much for listening to this episode, but I also want to take just a few seconds to let you know about a project that we've been putting together for the last several months, and we're finally launching it, called the Captain's Council. You see, as a CEO or operator of a business, it can feel like you get stuck in your own head a lot of the time. You get challenges that you don't know how to resolve. You get people causing problems in your leadership team that you don't know how to resolve. And it's so hard to overcome those things by yourself. You don't have to anymore. Join the Captain's Council. Captain's Council is a group of other CEOs and operators and owners of businesses where we come together once a month for several hours to discuss the biggest challenges you're facing. You express to the council of 8 to 10 people about what's going on. Where do you feel stuck? And these other people are in the same boat as you. They're running and operating their own businesses. They're your peers. They help you kind of dissect what's happening and help you see things that you may not have seen all by yourself. If you don't have a good, strong network of people around you, come join the Captain's Council. This is going to be something that will change the way you run your business and open your eyes to opportunities that you have never seen without the help of your peer group. Come check it out, captainscouncil.com. I think that's such a great thing because even, I've seen the school bus signs around our neighborhood, they're offering like $12.50 an hour, you know what I mean, to drive our kids to and from school, which is insane. And what you're offering is such a dramatic increase. It increases the quality of the driver, I would think, as well as provides an opportunity for the parents of these kids to say, hey, you know what? I've been driving kids to this school for 10 years. I got no problem driving other kids to school and making some extra money. That's awesome.
That is absolutely right. And Todd, I'll tell you that the first thing we should probably talk about is, we should accept the fact that student transportation is an actual crisis right now in this, since COVID, over
Agreed.
75% of school districts across the country are short on yellow bus drivers. That problem is not going away anytime soon due to the fact that yellow bus drivers are not compensated what they should be.
Well, and the cost to maintain those buses, the buses are
absolutely.
I mean, those buses are typically 15, 20 years old anyway, and they're all breaking down all the
absolutely.
time.
And
not a great business model the way.
What is actually happening is that schools are realizing as their budget cuts are made every single year that transportation is the first thing that takes a hit. So what is actually happening is a lot of school districts throughout the country are notifying parents that they will not be, providing busing anymore, especially to students who live in certain zones, areas, etc. That's a problem because you can find yourself with hundreds of thousands of parents over a single night who just, find out that they have no service starting, September or August. Now they have to find out how to get their kids to and back from school. This was probably much easier. As we were coming out of COVID, but things have changed.
Well, and it's an interesting thing to see with schools as well as cities. We've found that just we're in a very small kind of rural area outside Park City, Utah. And we saw the city of Park City completely eliminate all of their bus system because it was so expensive to maintain and move towards a ride share that they actually sponsor. And so my teenagers are doing ride shares all over the city, all over the town because they can. It's better than the bus system. It's crazy.
That's exactly right. And I think it's time to kind of realize, and we've noticed that, and we're pushing that, with our service, that just like we innovate everything else, student, transportation has to be one of those things. I think there's a lot of talk in the market about bringing buses that are cleaner and newer. But for us, the way that we view it is we have a smarter mousetrap, but someone has to, be, in that bus to drive. And that's not going to change anytime soon.
Right. Well, Norbert, this is, again, awesome. What are the highlights have you seen in your growth? I mean, you've exponentially, you said within 90 days, you were already going into other cities, other states. What are you projecting over the next year or two? What kind of growth do you see happening with your business? And is it hard? Is it awesome or is it hard? Well, what's going on?
I think it is all of the above. It is
Yeah.
awesome. It's hard and it's scary. I think when you start, what we're projecting is we're going to go from being a, $2.2 million company to now, try providing service to our over 11,000 clients that are on our, wait list, which will take
Wow.
us in the 10 million plus, revenue, if not
Woo.
more. Um,
Love it.
the problem that always becomes for a company that scales and that scales fast is you have to do it in a smart way.
Yeah.
Too many companies are driven by just revenue, but when you
Yeah.
start being driven only by revenue, you take shortcuts. And
Yeah. Yeah.
we are in a service that provides, the service to the most, um, you know
Vulnerable.
to yeah, kids. So we take a look at that business side as we have to be smart about every market that that we get into. We have to
Right.
continue being smart with how we scale. So there is that war of, okay, I have the clients, let's make it happen quick, to, okay, let's slow down and let's make sure that we do it smart. And as I mentioned
Love
earlier,
it.
one of the hardest thing in that growth process is to stay connected to the communities that you're scaling your business through. We are
100%.
there to provide them the jobs. We are there to talk to them. We are there to be part of the process for them. We need to make sure they feel that, no matter whether we're $100,000 company, $2 million
Yep.
company, or $100 million company. And I think
Of
that's what gets
course.
lost too many times in businesses who grow too fast.
Yep. Yep.
So we are trying to do it in a very smart way so that our parents are part of that process.
I love it. Norbert, what have you found to be your biggest challenge so far in this growth journey? Because, obviously, someone who's working in a law firm downtown New York doesn't always think of the challenges of a small business and a growing small business. What have been some of the biggest surprises you've hit?
There's actually a couple of challenges. I mean, the first biggest challenge is that when you're kind of creating a new lane in of business, that there is the
Yeah.
education part of things that, we have for such a long time, since 1902, I believe, is when the yellow busing system has been, introduced. But it's
Is
been the
that
same
right? Since
system since then.
1902?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I think it's somewhere, around that time. I could be wrong, but I believe the first system
That's
was set up in
amazing.
1902 by school. And what becomes really hard is, for so many years, for 120 years, we've been running the same system. The buses got newer, some of them did,
Yeah.
but the system is the same. So we are not here to say that yellow buses don't do the job anymore, but we
Right.
believe that schools and parents need another option layer of doing so. So there is an educational, issue where you have to educate, everyone of, hey, there are better options than what you used to have.
Right.
Um,
Right.
the second kind of a challenge that growing as fast as we're growing has is, you got to put together the right team in the right places throughout the country in order
$100.
to meet that, that service, that's there. So we live in a world right now where I think companies want people to come back to work. We want to stay home a bit more, and there's this kind
Yeah.
of a battle back and forth, and businesses have to change the way they operate a bit because of that. So as we
Love it.
are scaling up, finding the right talent and finding the right kind of system of giving everyone a fair chance to be able to have kind of best of both, worlds, that could be challenging
Right.
sometimes. But yeah.
Love it. Yeah, I just love it. I love your mission. I love what you're doing. I love the effect it's having on the communities. This is a great story. This is a great story that needs to be shared everywhere. And for those of you listening, honestly, you've got to think about what you've just heard, what you're listening to right now, and that is a need arose, a solution was there, it was not there, and so they created. I mean, every good business starts with solving a good problem. And this is a great problem to try and fix. And for you is a very personal problem, gives you more passion. Every parent gets behind this because what's more important to a parent than their kids?
Hmm.
Hopefully nothing.
Absolutely, Todd. And I think too many, as we take a look at the business market in general and new businesses starting up, there's been this rush of trying to invent a new service or, a way of doing it.
Yeah.
But we sometimes have to focus and look at services that's been in place for hundreds of years that need reinvention because they might not work the same way.
Love
Our
it.
ecosystems are changing and the needs that we have are changing, and we
Yeah,
think that our students who are going to be the next presidents and the next
sure.
Musks and the next Steve Jobs. We
Right.
need to make sure they have a system in place where they can thrive, and by providing smaller carpools for us, for
Yeah.
students,
Yeah.
we hear from teachers every day. They get to school more, more focused. There's less chaos, as there is, on the
Well,
bus. They tend to do better on
of
tasks. So
drama and teasing and I
yeah,
mean bullying going on in the buses. How many
absolutely.
dash cam
Absolutely.
videos have we seen about school buses having fights break out and the whole bus is in a frenzy? You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Absolutely. And look, and as our, cities are changing, our,
Yeah.
infrastructure is changing, these buses can't go everywhere. So if there is
Right. Right.
really bad traffic on a highway or on a main street, these buses are not able to take a turn right or left and try to go through that. They have to stay on that road.
It's
That
true.
causes our kids to be home an hour and a half, 2 hours
Ugh.
after school is done. That's a very long time. So we think there is a big, solution to actually using data to
Love
understand
it.
how you go from school home and providing the best
Right.
solution for the kids.
Norbert, fantastic, fantastic story. I hope your kids are just loving watching you grow this business too. It's got to be pretty exciting for the whole family to see that one problem is now turning into our family business and other it's
Absolutely.
affecting other people around them. This is fantastic. What who's kind of been there in your corner? Have you had a mentor, someone who's been able to guide you through this whole process?
Yeah, so my mentor is actually three people. It's my fiance, my partner, and my kids. To be honest with you, because entering kind of a
Love it.
market where we knew nothing about, it took education and getting to know how things
Right.
operate and being part of the system. And I think having the team at home behind you who supports you and says these are very long days, but we enjoy what we're doing is key. I gather a
100%.
lot of advice from people in the industry every single day, but the
Right.
people that motivate me every single day to do better are the people at home in your house. And that's why we think
Love
it's
it.
so important that our service is really family based and we understand what the families need.
Fantastic. I love it. I love this story. This is a great episode, Norbert. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us and sharing this with our audience. And for those listening, leave some comments below. I know that he'd love to hear from you. I know that you're probably wondering, when is it coming to my town? That's a very valid question to ask. And please ask it, because where there's demand, I'm guessing RideAlong is coming.
There we
RideAlong.
go. Yeah. In our current model, we need 10 business days to be set up in your city or town. So just let us
Oh my
know where you
gosh.
are and we will be.
Amazing. Amazing. Dude, I love it. And thank you so much for taking the time. For those that are listening and want to know where to find it, it is ridealongnow.com. So check it out. I'll leave links in the comments below, and I look forward to catching up with you soon. Thanks so much, Norbert.
Todd, thank you so much for having us. And, this is an amazing podcast that you do, and we're proud to be part of that. Thank you, everyone.
Really cool story, isn't it? What an amazing business. And I hope you enjoyed the experience that Norbert's had. And I hope you enjoy seeing where this is going to go. I can't wait to look forward in a year from now and look back and see the growth that they're achieving through each school year, as well as those mid-year products that he's able to produce in communities all over the country. So, what's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is best businesses are created from fixing problems that we've been dealing with the same way for over 100 years. I mean, think about this. The yellow school bus has been around since 1903 or something like that. Like, crazy stuff. Now, with the new technology and the ways that we've got the tech that we have available to us to fix problems that are old problems, is changing the landscape of everything we do. If you see opportunities, don't be afraid, go for it. If you see things that could be fixed and done a better way, try it. If your business is navigating in a world where there's a lot of breakthroughs that can happen, don't be scared to make those breakthroughs happen. Growth and scaling can happen in so many ways, through acquisition, through breakthrough ideas, through just being steady and consistent. These all are ways to grow and scale your business, and every episode on this podcast leans towards one or the other, and I hope you enjoy the variety of ways that you can learn to grow and scale your business. One of the things that I talked to Norbert about afterwards was, who is he leaning on for advice and support? And like most operators of small businesses, the community is very small. There are not many people that you can go to get the input you need without spending tens of thousands of dollars on a consultant every month to point you in the right direction. Like him and like you, there is a place, the Captain's Council. Check it out at thecaptainscouncil.com. They are sponsoring this episode today, and I want you to know how important it is for you to know that there is a community of founders and operators out there just like you, in growth mode, in scale mode, who are looking to get questions answered that they're just too embarrassed to ask. Don't be embarrassed. Join the community. See what everyone's talking about. When it comes to solving problems in your business, chances are the guy down the street has solved the same problem 3 years ago. So let's not learn the lessons they had to learn. Let's skip it. Let's bump ourselves ahead, and let's move and grow and scale as fast as you can in the best way possible. Thanks so much for being here. Can't wait to have you on the next episode of the Growth and Scaling Podcast. Please support us by liking and subscribing to these episodes, and we look forward to creating more content for you in the near future. We'll see you on the next one.